Greetings and salutations, everybody. Excuse me. I have, while I was working on Quickie 6, I was farting around and I went looking for one particular image that was used by another flat earther. And I saw a bunch of people talking about a mechanical gyro test from FECore. And yes, FECore is doing a gyroscope test, and so this is going to be a little bit interesting because obviously that caught my attention. So so I wanted to go take a look and see what they've done. And well, the only thing that I found is that they don't know how to do a test with a gyroscope. Apparently, spent a good bit of money on it because it looks pretty nice. Did 4 tests, posted all 4 tests, doesn't show anything in the test other than the fact that the thing spins. And obviously they also took liberty on their website to lie about somebody else doing something else from FECore. So it's going to be fun. Hanuja. And so today is going to be, actually I didn't want to say FECore versus gyroscope. I wanted to say, well, yeah, we'll just do that versus the gyroscope. So this is where I'm going with this. On the FECore, let me start with this. On the FECore website, they have their neat little thing, mechanical gyro testing. Okay, cool. Because what they're ultimately looking to do is put together a mechanical gyro to find out if the Earth spins or not. And the funny part is it's so easy to make things appear not to spin with a gyroscope. I mean, we saw that with John Savage. We've seen that with several others. Even though there are literally dozens of videos out online right now of people who actually have done it and have done it successfully. But you know, what would FECore be without bullshitting anybody? And so, let me go ahead and show you something here. First of all, on their site here. This is a logical error on their part. On the beginning of right below the picture, it says the heliocentric model says that the ball says the Earth is a ball which rotates on an axis through the North Pole once every 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds. Okay, cool. Now, I highlighted this part on purpose. The additional time of a 24-hour average day is claimed to be produced by an eccentric orbit of the Earth around the Sun and the effect of a tilted axis of rotation.
Oh, no.
Hi, guys.
With me, as always, is Sean. Say hi, Sean.
Hello.
And Gio, I still haven't forgiven you for that beer.
Oh, don't worry. It's going to get much worse.
Yeah, you still haven't hit all the after effects.
So, somebody please cite me anywhere that says that the 24-hour day is based on the Earth's orbit of the Sun or its axis.
Half truth, half whatever they wanted to pull out of their ass.
No, it's not even close to truth. The orbit of the Earth has nothing to do with the 24 hours.
Actually, it kind of does, Sly.
In what way?
But
yeah, it kind of does, because the
sidereal day is 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds.
Yes,
right.
But
because of the Earth's motion while it's rotating, it actually it takes another 4 minutes for the sun to go back to the exact same position. The solar day is 24 hours because of the orbit of the Earth.
Right.
The sidereal day is 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds.
Right. But the way they worded it here,
they've got it, like I said, half truth, half whatever they pulled out of their ass. It has nothing to do with the axis of the Earth, of the tilt of the axis of the Earth.
That part is 100% where I was going, but the other part is the additional time of a 24-hour day. That doesn't even that doesn't even sound right as a sentence.
Well, regarding the eccentricity, there's kind of a little bit of truth there, because if you think about a very eccentric orbit, the angular speed around the central body is higher in one place than it would be on another. So you would see it,
which is why we have Annalena.
Yeah, right. You would see a change of the length of the solar day. in a very eccentric orbit. However, it doesn't make a fucking difference for the Earth.
Right.
It's just not eccentric enough to actually see it. I mean, you probably can measure it, but it will be less than a second or something.
Right. So, first half of the sentence, utterly confusing, badly worded, whatever you want to call it. Second half of the sentence is absolute bullshit because it has nothing to do with being on a tilted axis.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then reading on through here, blah, 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 they talk about how, Foucault and how nobody's been able to reproduce this, which is a wonderful claim that flat earthers love to state, ignorant of the fact that there's even videos online that people have done this. Okay. Now they might not do it on a 3-axis gyro. I've seen people measure the precession. There's one guy who I watched a couple of times. He measured the precession by having his gyro sitting in a tub of water. There was another guy who had a gyro that I saw that was up on. It looked like one of those weights that's supposed to be on the end of a barbell, for weightlifting, and all this big huge thing. He had to turn it with a drill, and that one worked, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So saying that this, and don't forget, Riley actually came out one time because there was one that they had spotlighted at one point a while back. That was in a jar hanging from a string. And Riley wanted to say that the reason why it was showing motion was because of the current of electricity through the wires running the motor.
Huh.
That would take me forever to find that, but I remember that, and I was laughing out my ass. It was just so fucking funny. But anyway, but they go in here to about Foucault and the pendulum. Then they go into the pendulum thing, and then how the pendulum actually doesn't work. The pendulum is motivated by the thing that keeps it swinging, and. But what I thought was funny was they Yeah, and this is what I highlighted there. The fact is that many constructions of a Foucault pendulum required adjustments to attain the predicted results. That's bullshit. All they require is a motor. They have a kind of a motor thing going on at the top that keeps the thing swinging at the same length each time. That's all. Okay, and that's been shown to you guys. You guys know that.
Well, yeah, but basically it's a motor that counteracts the effect of atmospheric drag towards the pendulum so that it keeps swinging in perpetuity.
Right. And all it does is pull in those two directions. It doesn't rotate the thing. And
no, it doesn't do any rotation. It just gives it a swing.
Right.
A little bit of extra kinetic energy in whatever direction it's coming from. So
yeah,
there's no influence whatsoever on the plane of the swinging motion.
Now they take this picture of these guys, and these guys apparently were down in the South Pole, which flat earthers say don't exist. But they were down at the South Pole, and in a stairwell they made a Foucault pendulum and stuff, and they were having difficulties with it, and that's fine, and all this. Now, what I find funny is they ran through all these quotes, right, and of what these guys reported, but then they stopped. Right now, they left this part bold. Now, understanding, of course, it's not in quotes, but if you left a part bold, you would have to think that it belonged to the same report. And And they put it on here, and basically the first time that they did it, for some reason they got They got it was rotating in the wrong direction, so they figured that there was a problem with their setup. And then the second time they did it, they got it was rotating twice as fast as it needed to, and they even put on here, we thought it was some, right here, we suspected some kind of government conspiracy, but decided to make a further modification and try it again. Right now, right here at the end, though, they don't put in the part here that it actually succeeded. Okay, they cut that off, and then they put on here in bold to make you think it's part of the same thing. It's hard to believe that proponents of the heliocentric construct use this observation as verification of the Earth rotation. Anyone truly seeking facts can't be satisfied with that we
at present have any proof of or proof that the Earth rotates.
Right. Now, the funny part is that they cut off that story. I went looking for the story, and I found the guys who did the story. And what do you call it? And they cut the story off, and then they said, what do you call it? Our last attempt showed that the Earth spins on its axis every 24 hours as expected. We were somewhat disappointed that we didn't uncover a government cover-up. Okay.
Again, it goes back to the Riley criteria. Cherry picking is fine as long as they're the ones doing it.
And anybody who wants to look up this story and quote them in their face, this is actually the website in which that came from. So go ahead and quote that if you'd like to. And so basically, they cherry picked the story, and yeah, just made themselves look like idiots. Now, this is the FECore website, and I went down through this, and this is the story that they cut off, and all this other stuff. Now, first of all, even from the manufacturer, they're not using this one, but I just want to point out something here. Even from the manufacturer, they say that this is slightly off balance, leaning towards the side where you actually hook the motor up to it, because the bolts and the bearings and stuff like that on that side, it was either heavier or lighter. I don't recall exactly, but so compensating for that is one thing. Now they went out and did this. They machined themselves a a disc, and then they put it into this construct. Now, okay, cool.
Is that a single axis gyro?
Yeah. No, it's 3 axis. 1 axis on the rotator. This right here appears to rotate, and then obviously horizontal rotation as well. And what do you call it? Let's see. Where was it? Building mechanical gyro. Where was it? They say on here somewhere that they used spindle. Spindle bearings. Now, spindle bearings, I had to look up what exactly spindle bearings were. What do you call it? And spindle bearings are actually good with as long as pressure is only being applied from one direction. So, and you have to align them as such, which they don't discuss on here. So I don't really know exactly how they have that set up. But what I don't see, and it looks like what they're planning on doing here is, what do you call it? They are going to be putting a stepper motor attached to a belt to the base to rotate it to actually observe precession, which, I guess is cool and all this. I don't know if I would have used a stepper motor for it, because a stepper motor, as cool as they are
a little rattly usually.
Well, not just a little rattly, but they go from position to position.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
In a pulsing manner. And what do you call it? Which turns into...
By the way, that's called cogging.
Cogging, okay.
Yes.
But what do you call it? And, yeah, but I don't know if that... I think I know what you mean, but I don't think that refers to an electric motor, though.
For a stepper motor, every time it makes a step, it is considered a cog. It is actually called cogging.
Then my bad. And what do you call it? But so what they're going to be doing is they're going to do this, and then they're going to do the whole rotation test, kind of like Savage did on that horrible clock based test. And what do you call it? But they're going to have the same problem. This pulses. Okay, sorry, it pulses, and that pulse is faster than the combined amount of degrees that it would turn in a natural motion in that direction. So therefore, you're going to overcome a little bit of friction using that. But they don't show this test. This is where it ends, by the way. Okay, they don't show this test.
Remember, you have to be a member of FECore to actually get the results.
Well,
so that's $99 per year for a PDF.
Yeah. Well, it seems
it's not $250 anymore.
I don't know. I was just guessing.
Well, let's find out. Let's see. Where is it? Home navigation projects contribute. Would it be contribute?
Well, it used to be just at the bottom of the page. Did they remove it?
Yeah, it used to be a member or something like that.
Yeah.
No, that's just donation.
Did they get rid of the whole membership thing after the IRS came down on them?
That might be a thing. Let's see. Contribute projects about us. Yeah, I don't see the membership thing anymore.
Oh, go to about us. Maybe they also changed something
or
about
get involved.
Their text status.
Discovery application. Join us.
Oh, there we go. FECore is in the process of establishing as tax exempt. Oh, there. Yeah.
There it is. Money, 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 money. PDF. Money, 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 money. Yes, spend $150 a year so you can get PDFs of stupid experiments and lies. But anyway, let me go ahead and show you this now. Now on their YouTube channel, they came out with four videos, 4 tests of this gyroscope. Now it seems to me, seeing that the only thing that they're looking to do here is show that it spins and doesn't move, why would you need 4 videos for that? Unless you're trying to sell it.
Trying to sell it.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I built myself a gyro like this, I might now if I had done 4 tests, I might do 4 tests into the same video, you know, the testing of said gyro. But I wouldn't make 4 separate videos. Now, they are all real-time videos, meaning that there's no editing and they're played all out. And so let's see. This is first test. Now, I didn't want to give it away. Now, Sean, if you were at 48 degrees latitude, which no, you're not. That's way above you.
Yeah, I'm at 41.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's in Canada. What do you call it? Or for us here in Europe, it's just normal because I'm at 51. So
you're at 51? I thought you were pretty much dead on 50.
I think I'm at 51.
I'm at 49 and a half.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, somebody in the last test was at 51, and I think I was comparing it to mine. But
you are.
We're in the 50.
Let's just say Frankfurt. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's dead odd on 50.
Okay, then I think it was
a little bit more, 50 and 6 minutes, but whatever.
Yeah, but what do you call it? So let's just say you're at 48 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
How would you align your gyro to test the rotation of the Earth?
With that mount, to test the rotation of the Earth, you would have to polar align it because, again, I'm not seeing any evidence that actually rotates on that sideways axis.
Okay, so here's the thing. All 3 of these, I am satisfied they do rotate. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm satisfied that they rotate, mind you. And I'm not talking about sensitivity here. I'm just talking about I know they rotate. Now, I'm satisfied they rotate. Now, this is the yaw axis. This is the pitch axis. Meaning the silver here is the pitch axis, and we'll call the disc the roll axis.
Mm-hmm.
So, which axis would you have pointed where?
Well, if I was to do this, with the bearing they got, that actually wouldn't work because it would put friction on the wrong axis or in the wrong direction. With this one, I would actually align the horizontal bars north-south. That would be the best thing you can do with these bearings.
So these guys right here, north-south?
No, the horizontal ones.
Okay, this guy here.
Yeah, align that north-south. That would be your best option with that setup.
Yeah,
I think he's right, yes.
I'd agree with you. Now, me personally, I wouldn't have it limited to this. I would have one more axis on there and then tilt the whole deal.
Yeah, that's what I was wanting to do. Like
polar aligned, right?
I was wanting to polar align it with the base because that would actually show rotation on a single axis only without having the roll motion that it would generate with being on a 48-degree angle.
Right. Now, so nothing other than north should be said in any way, shape, or form anyway, right?
Right.
Regardless of, I mean, even if you want to label these things different things, you shouldn't hear anything but I align this north, right? Ready?
Yeah.
You're going to love this, man. Shaft axis points north-northeast.
North-northeast.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why?
Good question. Now, moving on to the next test. This one also was north-northeast. I didn't stop it at the part where it says it. I'm sorry. This is test number 2. Test number 3 also was north-northeast. Even though these are all slight variations, that's why they said north-northeast instead of giving a degree. And then this one was at east-northeast.
Again, because of the way that gyro is built, you're not going to get any. You're not going to get any detection on the roll, which is the spin direction of the gyro itself. So you either want the base axis to show the rotation of the Earth, or you want the I don't know what to call it. If pitch is the base axis, it's where the wheel will actually turn side to side vertically.
Right.
Can we just number the axis? Can we call the one where the actual wheel is mounted 1?
Okay, hold on a second here. I got an idea. I see where you're going with that. 1, and then...
exactly.
Yeah, hold on. Home. Let me put this text fill. We'll go...
No need to make a science out of this, Sly.
Well, no. I just want to make sure I'm getting it right. That's all. Oops. Well, so we can all see it, because I get a lot of people say, "Oh, I couldn't see that on my mobile phone." All right. So let's see. We'll just say 1.
Yes.
Actually, hold on. New slide. Nice and big. There we go. Like that. Make this out nice and big like this. Just so we're all on the same sheet of music here. So 1 is going to be this guy. 2 and 3.
Yeah, the best setup they can do for this type of gyro is to put 2 facing either north or south. That way, the top and bottom of the gyro will show the most rotation.
Right.
Yeah, basically, 1 will start spinning, and also the gyro will start tilting around the 2 axes.
Now they keep on talking about the shaft, which is the axle of the gyro itself.
Yeah, they want that facing due east or due west.
Right.
Well,
pretty much, yeah.
Because if they face the second axis that we identified, east or west, the gyro is going to show very little deflection.
Now here's the thing. Let's just say that axis 3, okay, the shaft as they call it. If that was pointing due north, would you see anything happen with this gyro?
Very, very, very slowly.
Because the rotation axis would be here.
Right, but again, since they're at a 48 degree latitude, it's still going to show roll on the top and bottom, but it's going to be very, very slow.
Right, it might show a little bit of top.
If you did the setup on the equator with a 3 being aligned north-south, you would see absolutely fucking nothing.
Right.
That's the point. The further north you get, the better the setup will become.
But it's not going to give you your 15 per hour.
Yeah, since the rotation is, I think it's the cosine of the latitude, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be at least 60 degrees north to see half of the value you expect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's the thing about a 3-axis gyro on a sphere is it's going to use all 3 axes, and when you combine the values of all 3 axes motion, that's where you get your 15 degrees per hour added up to. Well,
hey,
it's not an addition.
Thanks, Copernicus thinker, man. Appreciate it.
I think the best way is to orientate the axis to north-south, and that way you will see 1 turning in one direction, also the entire flywheel tilting along the 2 axes.
Right, but this would, axis 1 would not show 15 degrees per hour in any of these setups.
Well, the only place any single axis will show 15 degrees per hour will be either at the equator or at the North or South Pole.
Right.
That is the only places you will ever see a 15 degree per hour on a single axis.
Right. So.
Or if you polar align it.
But definitely not if you go north-northeast. Definitely not if you go, east-northeast. And this is the information that they put out. Okay, this isn't, me, coming up with some interesting way of finding out which direction they got this thing pointed. this is what they put out. And now, here was something funny. Now, you'll notice, well, you won't notice much here, but hold on 1 second because I didn't set those 2 slides up. But now I can tell you that in 2 of the, or in 3 of the tests, I observed no motion that I would even take a note of. Okay. However, this one, this is why I left the text off. Now I remember. This one, which was test number 2, I found to be quite interesting. Hold on a second. Let me go and make
Gyronism interesting?
Not necessarily, not Gyronism interesting. I would call it more. Wait, did I just move 2 images at the same time? What do you call it? I would call it more. What the fuck are you doing? Interesting. So hold on a second here. Paste. There we go. Now, watch this. Control X. Control V. All right. So this is the end of the test, and this is.
I can already see that it rotated.
Now, watch what I'm going to do here, Sean. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Watch the needle. See it down there moving?
Are you sure you had the same one? I could swear it was tilted a little bit more on the other picture.
No, I think what you're talking about is the camera angle being different between the two.
Yeah, that's possible, yes.
No, but I'm talking about the test itself. Okay, this is the beginning of the test, as in he pulled the motor off and he moved away. Okay. This is at the end of the test, okay, where it was pretty much wound down. Okay, hadn't stopped yet, but was still rolling. But if you look right here, I'm going to put my cursor right there on the tip of the needle. Do you see the slight movement?
Honestly, I can't see anything because your video stream is too compressed.
Okay.
With Hangouts, I'm not seeing it.
Okay, well then here's what I'm going to do. Watch this. Hold on.
Can I maybe zoom in a little bit into everything?
Yeah, that's kind of hard to. Well.
Yeah, you have the scroll bar on the bottom right. Just zoom into the needle.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's going to. There. Okay. It did stay. I was worried about it.
Now you can see it.
There it is.
Okay, hold on. I was worried about it changing positions. That's all.
No. Yeah. Well, no.
See that?
Yep.
Yes.
Oops. Shit. There. Nothing lighting related. I realize there's a dark spot here. I think it's because this is where the guy was standing behind it. But it does move. Now, one might say, yeah, but that's not the rotation of the Earth because it's not the right speed or not the right thing. Well, since this is already fucked up in every way possible for alignment, y'all don't even know what the hell you have. But number 2, if I had a super high precision gyro that in a perfectly stationary fashion gave me this much movement, then that's a problem and you need to redo your gyro. Okay. And on top of that, what do you call it? Not acknowledging it, and this was the funny part, not acknowledging it, at the bottom of test 2, I looked at this. Taboo Conspiracy says, we can't see the numbers perfectly. Was there any rotation? Now, mind you, this is also an HD video, so you can see pretty well. I'll admit, though, you can't read the numbers. FECore replies with none.
Sly, you have to zoom into this. It's so compressed we can't read anything. At least I can't.
Okay. Let me go ahead and go here. That big enough?
Almost.
Damn, what are you watching on?
The same computer as usual.
Speed is like dropping the Hangout down to like 120p.
But it feels like I'd say 360.
Okay, well, here, hold on a second. Here, let me crop it down. Let me crop it down for you. And then I'm going to make it stupid big.
Well, it's like I said, since they're not polar aligned, they're not at the equator, they're not at the North Pole, they are literally getting fractions on each axis of rotation that they should be getting.
You see that, Gio?
Much better. Thank you very much.
But anyway, Taboo's, and I like the fact that I don't know if his channel got shut down, but let's see. We can't see the numbers perfectly, which I admit you can't. What do you call it? Was there any rotation? Thank you. FECore require answers none. Now, seeing that we're looking at things that are supposed to actually move like 1, 2, 3 degrees. Okay, even the smallest amount. You might think I'm nitpicking, but even the smallest amount is valid movement. Now,
what was the time of the experiment? How long did it take?
It was like
actually less than 25 minutes. The whole video is 25 minutes long. How long was the experiment?
I think it was like about in total maybe about 22 and a half minutes long.
Well, okay.
But like I said, if you're seeing any movement at all, then you need to figure out what's wrong. And this was test 2.
Okay, so apparently the people in the side chat are saying that the cage around the spinning wheel also shows the rotation.
Yes.
It movement better.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. But I just wanted to show the needle because the needle has the finest point on it as far as what was being shown. But yes, when you go up here, there's also some reflective differences, but it gets confused by the
Hold on.
What?
Keep flipping back and forth.
Hey, wait,
the vertical axis that I was talking about has more rotation than the base axis.
Yep. Yeah,
so
I didn't even notice that.
Rotation of Earth measured.
Because from beginning to end, it went up. From beginning to end, it rotated up, and it rotated. Let's see, hold on. And it rotated in this sense counterclockwise.
So
in the end, is it still rotating because you can actually see this orange cross thingy in the middle being rather sharp?
It was actually well, it's actually not quite sharp. It just caught real well. No, it's still rotating.
It's still rotating. Okay, yeah. But it looks like it has slowed down just because the other one is completely blurred.
No, it is slowed down considerably. What do you call it? But it's pretty much done. But it is still rolling. As a matter of fact, what point is that here? That is whoops. Let me go over here. You're right. Now that I zoomed in on it, I didn't notice very much the vertical rotation. All right, so oops, why am I going there? I'm going here. Okay, so at 23:43 of that video, hold on. Let's go ahead and get the video up. Let's see. I got another Riley fan following me around.
And just to point out, this is where they had it northeast.
Yes, this was still northeast.
Okay, here's the thing: with the rotation of the Earth going east or west to east as it travels, the top of the gyro should fall back towards the camera. The base of the gyro should rotate towards the left side of the screen. Okay. Is that what we see?
Well, the top going back, yes, we see that. However, I think you're incorrect on the other direction. But hold on a second. So, beginning of the test, end of the test, counterclockwise.
Hmm.
But if it's being processed, it would go the opposite way, right?
I think it would, yeah. If I remember correctly, on the northern hemisphere, the FECore pendulum at least goes clockwise.
All right. Well, here, let me just to show you, Gio. This is at 22 something.
You know what I think we need to do? We need to do a time lapse of this.
As you can see, it's still rolling.
Yeah.
So, what do you call it? Hold on a second here. Now, yeah, the top would be rolling back because the top would roll to the east.
Maybe they filmed it from the other side. No, that wouldn't make a difference, would it?
No. And plus, there's everything's written the right way. So, and yeah, I'm going to go with it should actually be rotating clockwise. But you know what? I'm going to put together a gyro and find out exactly what that's supposed to be. Because I have one of those the super precision gyro, and I'm going to find out what that's supposed to be. So consider that an IOU to everybody. But but nevertheless, if I saw this much, let's just say they didn't prove rotation of the Earth with this. Okay,
They did show that there was motion on the gyro from something.
Yeah, there's motion on the gyro. That's telling me that your super high precision gyro only works 1 out of 4 times. Or, excuse me, 3 out of 4 times.
Have you checked all the other 3 videos for the same thing?
Yeah, I have.
And it showed nothing?
Nothing.
Interesting.
But, so the question is, number one, why would you align it like this? That's stupid. But of course, this is FECore who tried to use a laser level to level a laser. I know how weird that sounds, but hey. And what do you call it? And sorry, text for the blind. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. While we're here, Control C, Control V. This is test 1. We're going to go ahead and just check that just to make sure that there wasn't something else I missed, because I totally admit that I missed the vertical rotation on that. So hold on a second here. Duplicate like this. Get rid of this.
I just thought it was very, very interesting that the vertical rotation was higher than the base rotation.
Yeah.
I also find it interesting that they don't have a scale for the vertical rotation.
Well, you see, my biggest problem with this is the fact that they don't show any friction tests.
Well, yeah, that as well, obviously.
To address that, is Bob's now trying to deny that on the surface of the sphere it should only show rotation on a single axis, which is why they're only trying to measure a single axis with a 3-axis gyro.
Which, sorry, but Wolfie absolutely destroyed that with a 3-axis gyro, just showing what happens when it moves in certain ways.
Yep.
And so anybody
the small one you use for a drone or something, right?
Yeah. So anybody who missed that, you definitely need to check that out. Now, there is a camera movement here that goes from left to right. So
now, mind you, just to clarify about Bob changing his position on how many axes they should move or axes should move on a gyro, when he was doing the behind closed doors test with the fiber optic gyro with Seventh Day Truth Seeker, Seventh Day Truth Seeker explained to him why it's showing motion on 3 axes, and Bob understood it and agreed with it until he went public, and now he's saying, "Oh, it shouldn't show motion on 3 axes." So yeah, Bob is literally pulling shit out of his ass to try to save face after the whole fiber optic gyro experiment.
Mm-hmm. That's confidential, though.
It's confidential. Don't tell anybody. Everybody who's watching this, you didn't hear that from me.
Okay, this one, there seems to be a small zoom that took place, or somehow the camera fell towards the thing a little bit, but I do not see. Oh, yeah, actually, I do.
Yeah, there is still rotation there, just not much.
Yep, and it's rotating the same way.
Yeah, it seems to be tilting with the top away from us, I think.
Oh, wait, no, hold on. I think those are reflections.
No, wait.
Let me get in there. Hold on. Let me get in there.
You need to zoom. I think it's best if you zoom on the lettering, because that's the only part that's not reflective in any way.
Yeah, okay, hold on.
Yeah, so, there's 177 or whatever it says.
Okay, now this is the beginning. This is the end. You can obviously tell because of the amount of smear on the thing. So this is the beginning, end. Beginning, end. No, I don't see any movement at all.
I am also not sure, no.
I thought I saw
I'm actually watching that spot you just pointed at.
Are you sure you
but it looks more like it's blurring.
Yeah, what I'm looking at is the corner of the actual axis frame, not the outside frame, but the axis corner, right just to the left where your mouse is at. I'm actually looking at that and comparing it to that little hole in the side.
Yeah, but like I said, it looks more like it's blurring than anything else, because if you look at the general quality, it blurs at that point.
What I'm looking at is the back mount, the back side of this axis. Yeah, that one. Check that out. Because that appears to be moving.
There's also a slight camera movement, so I don't think we can really go. I don't think we can really go with much on this at all. Oops, shit. I think I just moved it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I see what you're talking about, though. It kind of looks like it went like this, and now you can see like a little scratch on the wall. But it looks like that's more of a focus thing because look at the wall. Oops.
Whoa, what was that? Or was that the other test?
That was the other test.
Okay. I was like, wait a second. Did you give him something obvious? No.
But I mean, they did.
Bless you.
No, before you flat earth cherry pick this was Sly having 3 frames up, 2 from one video, 1 from another.
Yeah.
That's not. We're not declaring anything on that because it's 2 different videos.
Yeah.
Also, we're not cutting frames.
We're not saying anything between those 2 comparisons because they are from 2 different videos.
These 2 here, though, are what we are talking about, but it looks like there is a focus difference between the 2. So I can't really get a sharp of anything because, like I said, look at the wall texture. And then in the beginning, look at the wall texture. Okay, there's a focus where this is the first one is actually more blurred than the second one. So we're going to actually have to leave that one out. So that was gyro test 1. 2 is the one we saw the motion on. 3 is now what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and bring this down here. D. Oops. Zoom out so I can see what the fuck I'm doing. I'm actually going to move those other 2 up so I know which order these are in. Okay, so let's see, like that. And then go over this one like that. So I want that one in the second frame, and I want this one in the first frame.
The one thing that really is actually irritating me is that they're saying they're repeating Leon Foucault tests with a CNC machine gyro. Foucault didn't rely on a gyro. He relied on the Coriolis effect. Gyros don't use that.
Mm. They just talk about the gyro like they know what they're talking about. Okay, I want to make sure there's no external movement here, which it does not appear there is. There might be 1 pixel jarred to the left there.
Can you switch back and forth between them a little bit
Yeah, it
more
looks like
fast?
the entire base is moving to the left.
Yes, I agree.
So that it's not. Wait.
I don't think that's camera movement. That's the device itself.
Yes, they actually moved the device on the pad.
No,
the pad doesn't move, but the base does.
Actually, the gray fabric is completely still.
Stop, guys. What I'm seeing here is I'm seeing like 1 pixel of movement. Oops. To the left and right. See my cursor?
Yep.
1 pixel of movement to the left and right. Now that's just camera shift, for any one of 1,000 reasons.
Okay, stop. Put your mouse on the right end where the fabric ends. The gray fabric the device is standing on.
Yep.
Now do the same. It should be perfectly still there, I think.
No, it's the whole camera, the whole view's got that 1 pixel off.
Yeah, but in the middle it's more than 1 pixel. On the device itself, the movement seems to be much more.
Well, it could be also a rotational. Yeah, I'm seeing what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, we're talking about the actual base itself is actually making a shift on the carpet.
Hold on. You're talking about...
Do you see where the base is standing on the small, I don't know, stand or something? See that?
Yeah, but I'm not. Like I said, I think the camera actually had moved.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because if you look right here, you will not. Oops. You will not see a difference.
Yep, you see that the fabric moves.
The camera moved.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's just a small thing on the camera, but let's see what else. Oops.
By the way, do you guys hear that beeping sound in my background?
Yeah.
Is that your computer about to blow up?
No, that's my washing machine. Just ignore that.
Yeah, this has got some camera shift to it.
Why did he move the camera?
No. Like I said, the stand could settle, and I mean that's.
It could be anything. Just a little bit of shaking by them walking past it.
He stepped too hard.
So unfortunately, with that shift, it would be, unless we had something obvious, we can't really get anything out of this one. And I do not see anything obvious. No, I don't see anything obvious on that one. So that's test 3. And then this is test 4. So let me go and duplicate this slide. Do you see anybody in the chat talking about they seeing anything?
Wait a second. Which orientation did he have this one supposedly set up at?
This one right here?
Yeah.
This is east-northeast.
Did he happen to go to another room?
Why?
Because that looks like quite a jump.
No, that's the same thing. It's just he moved the camera.
I'm actually using the desk on the wall as a reference.
If you have a nice bearing, why do you need WD-40?
I'll give you that one, man. Hold on.
I didn't even see that. I was too busy looking at the gyro.
I need better captures than this because those are the zoomed out ones. Hold on a second here. Let me go ahead and get the right captures here. Test number 4. We'll go like this. Send it over to there. Okay, now this is towards the end of the test. Okay, so print screen, like that. Crop, this. This one they actually did. Oh, shit. Damn it. I gotta put the grids back on. Smart grids. Crop. So it cuts it right in half. This one they tried to get fancy and do a picture-in-picture. So that's the end of that one. And then we'll go back over here to the beginning after he lets go, which is 228. So print screen like that. We'll get the last one. Crop. And then grab this. And any flat earthers who are supporting FECore, make sure you go ahead and do these same still captures that I've done. I'm actually, no. Once again, we got camera movement, but it's a lot smaller.
For whatever reason, the people in the site should want to know what brand I'm using for washing machines. What the fuck?
Hold the phone, flip back and forth, and look at the horizontal axis.
Well, see, this is what I'm looking at first. See the YouTube marker? Oops. Mm-hmm. Now you see the movement there?
Yeah.
So there is left to right camera movement. I would say almost perfectly left to right. So that's cool, as long as we know that. Now, what did you want to look at?
The horizontal axis.
This guy here?
Mm-hmm. Look at the right side of it. It's easier to see over there.
Yeah. Hold on. So this guy. Now there's left to right movement of about 2-3 pixels.
Mm-hmm.
That is beginning of the test. That is end of the test. Beginning of the test, end of the test. So it's rotating the direction that it's supposed to be.
So no motion, huh? Interesting.
So here's the summary of what I'm trying to say here for everybody who's watching. Now, number one, I mean, big pretty gyro, cool, neato. Okay. The problems that I'm having with this, and they're problems that won't get addressed. They'll just be made fun of by flat earthers and by Bob, non-pilot, prove the globe Bob. And FECore, who, once again, I just like to remind everybody, their laser tests were a complete and total farce because they tried to level their lasers with a laser level. All I wanted to show here today, and this is just the information that I have because they haven't done their rotation test yet, and I can probably already tell you what it's going to show you. It's going to show you the precession that they're looking for. And then they're going to say that, oh, see, this is what happens when it actually does, if the Earth actually did rotate, which is a crock of shit because it's not actually going to be turning the thing in the direction that the Earth would rotate. It's just going to be turning it here on its axis. Okay, has nothing to do with the direction that the Earth would be rotating. Okay, now if they lean this sucker up at 48 degrees and then do the rotation there, then at least you'll get a somewhat of an analog of what you would be looking for, but you're not going to get it standing it up like this. Period.
No.
And
they will never make 15 degrees on a single axis the way it's oriented.
Right. It will not happen. Period. I mean, it just will not happen. And what do you call it? Now, on top of that, they make no particular compensations or discussions about why they chose which direction to rotate this, because that has an effect on which direction it processes. And there's no discussion of that anyway. Okay. Additionally, there was this weird thing, thinking that the tilt of the Earth had something to do with the amount of time that it takes to rotate. What do you call it? This bullshit statement about that Foucault pendulums are actually designed to work, designed to show rotation, which they're not. The only thing that motor's up on the top for, and it's usually magnetic, just pulling it from one side to the other, is to keep the pendulum swinging, because obviously the laws of physics will get in the way and stop the pendulum from swinging eventually. But FEs have used that like all the time. What do you call it? And then there was the whole story of the guys down in South Pole, which, like I said, feel free to read the stuff that they cherry picked here on their website versus the actual. Go ahead and read the whole story, because it was actually kind of interesting. Read the whole story as to what these guys were doing. They did a couple of different things down there, at least for this page. And go ahead and read the stuff that Bobby and the boys left out. And like I said, why you would put out 4 test videos in one video, I have no clue. Okay, seems to me you could have had all 4 of them together, and then we'll see your step motor test, which is going to be absolutely worthless, because what they're going to do is they're going to say, this is the kind of motion you're looking for. When number one, the pulses of or as Sean looked up, the cogging of a stepper motor is going to move in pulses. Those pulses, even though over time the same amount of distance is reached, it's done in a different way. In other words, if you were to pull on something at a constant rate versus pulling it on it in a jerking motion, you're going to overcome certain levels of friction. I saw no friction test that was done with this. Not even something as simple as turning the disc on its side and like putting a coin on it, just to find out how much friction is involved. I saw nothing done like that, and I doubt I will. And if they do produce it, I cringe at what they're going to do. But so this was basically a total waste of your donator money.
Go figure.
A total waste.
Are there any statistics on how many members they actually have?
Only if you remember to see the list.
Well, I'm going to say it like this. I don't know how many they got, but if these highly anticipated tests, because this is their next big project, so we're going to have to be screwing with this for the next couple of days. I got more views on my rebuttal to Flatzoid on one video than they got on all 4 of these. So it doesn't look like a whole lot of people are really paying attention to this. Okay. Now, subscriber count does not equal view count. People will watch it if they're not a subscriber. I am not subscribed to a lot of things, and I watch a lot of things. So yeah, it's not looking good for FECore. We already know they're frauds. We've seen every test that they've done, and every test that they've done has either proved the globe or was done in such a fallacious manner. It was just crazy. So I don't know, man. But, it was something to pay attention to for, 5 minutes. And what do you call it? And so, and I'm pretty sure that seeing that at the very beginning of this video, I mentioned something about the type of bearings that they're using, which are spindle bearings, which is a type of ball bearing. But what it is the inside of the where the ball bearings actually rub the casing, it's angled so that it can support more force on one direction than on another. And I highly doubt that they took any of that into consideration, especially not on their rotating axis.
So that's why I said that these bearings wouldn't work for a polar aligned test, because the bearings wouldn't be getting their force in the proper direction.
Correct. There are plenty of other types of bearings, as the expert on bearings, of course, who is John Savage. who just made an ass out of himself about 2 years ago on that. And yeah, so there's really nothing else much to say other than, hey, FECore, at least you didn't put out a PDF this time.
Yet.
Because you see, if I were to go to FECore's site, what I would see is, if it were me putting this together, I would have, these are our tests, but, also caveat on there, these are just testing the system, so I'm not going to roll this whole thing out for you. But these are tests, unless this is actually the test, because it does say repeating Leon Foucault's test with a CNC created gyro.
And again, Leon Foucault never used a gyro.
Mm-hmm.
But just to clarify for you, FECore, if you have any legitimacy about you, which I totally don't think you do, obviously, but if you were actually wanted to put something off as legitimate, have one of those, you want to set up the gyro in a way that's going to show the most rotation it can without being polar aligned.
Setting up your test for success.
Yeah, you want it to show as much as drift as you can on a single axis, and since we're on a sphere, you can't do that with leveling it to the ground. On a 3-axis gyro, you have to have it either polar aligned, and that will show you 15 degrees on a single axis, or have one of the axes aligned north and south, which will give you the most amount of rotation you can get based on your latitude on between two axes or axes.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
It can't be polar aligned, man. It has to be personal atmospheric dome aligned, man.
Oh my God.
It would be funny if it wasn't so sad.
And remember, it's only 3 miles in radius. Oh, sorry. That just hit me right when you said polar aligned. I was like, wait a minute, they don't polar align anything. Oh, wait a minute. Last time we told them to polar align it, they came back with personal atmospheric dome. But
oh God.
Sorry.
But actually, even with this setup, they could find a 15 degree on a single axis, just not the one they want to measure. Literally ignore the base. Use that side frame, line that up north and south, and tilt the entire apparatus. They're at 48 degrees, so
yeah.
Put it at, oh God, what is it, 42?
What?
The angle they're going to have to tilt the north end of it.
No, the alignment is the same as latitude.
Yes. If they're on 42 degrees north,
they're trying to make it perpendicular to the axis.
Right. Perpendicular to the axis is going to be 0 degrees at horizontal or 90 degrees at the pole. So it's the same as your latitude.
Yeah,
in other words, I'm at 50 degrees, as Gio so pleasantly pointed out. What do you call it? So therefore, I would have to align this to 50 degrees. Because if I was at the North Pole, I would have to align it to 90 degrees straight up.
Well, at the North Pole, they would literally have to turn this setup on the side to show the rotation on the top and bottom of the
right.
gyro.
But you get what I'm saying. Your latitude is actually the angle towards what do you call it? Polaris.
Yeah, their best axis they got right now is that vertical axis.
Yeah.
That's the most usable they have out of this one that they can actually do the most testing with this setup. But they'll leave it level to the floor so it shows reduced movement on all 3 axes, and they'll say, well, it's not 15 degrees per hour. So yeah.
Can't we just pay them a plane flight to the South Pole?
They won't go on it.
No return.
With a no return. Yeah. Sorry, guys. The Kickstarter only went for half the flight. Some of you guys are going to have to find your own ride home.
Did Michelle Foucault use a gyro?
Yeah, I think it was Michelle Foucault. Before he did all that gay shit.
Yeah. Michelle Foucault's the one that used the gyro.
No, he probably was into those astronaut training gyroscope thingies.
Oh, wait, and don't forget, Riley's one of the mouthpieces for FECore. So go ask Riley.
I think he got booted. I think Bob booted him.
I thought Bob booted himself.
No.
Wait, why would Bob throw the Riley out of FECore?
Because him and Riley got on a big tussy over the whole gravity thing.
Okay.
I didn't know Bob was. I'm pretty sure Bob's still there. Let's take a look.
I don't know. I moved off the page.
I'm on it now. Meet our staff. Yeah, Bob's still there.
Is he?
Yep. Still a board member for a nonprofit that doesn't have a board.
So let me go ahead and put a word out to one individual there, a Mr. Mike Kavanaugh. Thanks for trying to steal my style of doing silent movies. What do you call it? Your music selection could, use a little help. But Mr. Kavanaugh, I would like to remind you that as with your laser tests, alignment is about 2/3 of this test. And you have shown that you have no intention of doing that correctly. Just like you showed and tried to sell to me that your laser tests were done correctly. Okay. FECore, I'm sorry, you guys, if you're doing that, you're either the embodiment of incompetence, funded from idiots, or you guys are absolute geniuses making idiots believe that you know what you're doing and you're showing them something of value.
I don't think that. Well, I actually think the latter one is rather unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they were to make much more money out of gullible idiots, they would be running a church.
This is true.
Well, to be fair, FECore headquarters used to be a church.
It used to be a church.
True.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But building does not equal functionality.
Mm-hmm.
At least not in the US.
But I'm sorry, guys. I mean, this took me 3 minutes to look at. It took me 3 minutes to figure out what was wrong here. Okay? And it took even shorter time to realize that your shit was aligned incorrectly. Okay? No friction test. Not properly aligned. What do you call it? Wrong type of bearings.
Didn't even look at your results to see if there was actual motion or not.
Yeah. Stood there and told somebody like Taboo Conspiracy that there was no motion under the one video that it actually showed motion.
Well, it showed the motion the best.
Yeah. I would say it that way.
Because that last one actually showed motion on the vertical axis.
Right. So, I mean, really, what good are you guys other than sucking up money? I mean, I'm jealousy in that sense.
Why did I just have a Silence of the Lambs flashback?
So, let's see.
Start calling him Mike Hannibal.
If you're going to build a gyro, the lead from a pencil is actually a very good lubricant. Well, yeah, it is graphite.
It used to be lead. They actually used lead in the past for it.
Yeah. But, so, that's all I got, guys. So I just wanted to show this a little bit, and people think I do this to try and get a rise out of flat earthers. No, I'm just showing you the bullshit. And I got two of arguably the best bullshit sniffers with me. So
I did spot the vertical spot, so yeah. You would miss that.
And what do you call it? So, it's a lot of fun, and I just I'm not expecting a response from Globebusters. I'm not expecting a response from FECore because they won't. All I'll get is some kind of sideways comment from one of the Globebusters, surely, that's going to say, he has no idea what he's talking about or something like that, and then they'll go off for an hour about what types of bearings exist, kind of like John did. And so I'm not expecting it out of this. So this is probably going to be the only part of this that I do. Kind of like with the laser test that nobody from Team FECore got back with me on. Sorry, you guys, you lied about that, and your alignment process sucked. And then what was the other one that they just recently did? I just did a review on it. I don't know, man. There's so many bullshit stories out there from you guys. It's incredible. So, but that's all I got. So Sean, Gio, you guys got anything coming up?
No, nothing planned.
I don't have anything planned at the moment either. I'm heading out for vacation end of this week, so probably no hangouts for at least 1.5 weeks, probably more.
Yeah, that power button's such a pain in the butt.
But what?
The power button.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, guys, inside joke.
And what do you call it? I, however, have Quickie 6 coming up, which
that
is also
sounded wrong, Sly.
Yeah, nah. No, if I would have said it in German, then it would have sounded wrong. Think about that.
I know.
And so number 6 is coming out. So I'm going to be putting that out here in a day or so. It's also going to have the results from that perspective test that only a few flat earthers decided they were going to try their hand at, but I got some awesome results from everybody else, and so I really appreciate that. Oh, Red Pill philosophy. Is it philosophy? Red Pill philosophy.
Yeah, Mr. High IQ himself.
Yeah, he decided to equate some kind of success of my test by how many of the people that are actually my viewers participated. Now,
oh no, you're doing hangouts in English and you're doing your test in Germany. I wonder how many of them show up.
Well, not only that, but that's something else. But what he was talking about was in my perspective challenge. Basically, I had moved the camera from point A to point B and showed the field of view, and I asked people to tell me the distance and the size of the object that was in the camera. But what I did was I told everybody, I said, look, this is primarily a challenge for flat earthers, because I wanted somebody to make a video to actually tell me, what results they got.
Oh, wait a second. I think there's confusion here. Didn't you say? Are you talking about the test regarding your challenge to flat earthers, or are you talking about the test we did at Boog?
The challenge.
No. This is a recent challenge. This isn't Boog.
Okay, because in the beginning it sounded like he was talking about Boog.
That's why I stopped you.
Okay, thanks.
Because I figured you got that impression.
Yeah, it sounded like that. Sorry for the confusion.
Yeah, that's all good. But nevertheless, I made this challenge, and then I specifically put in the comments below because I knew that I was going to have a bunch of regular rational people chomping at the bit, wanting to give a shot at the numbers. And so what I did was I told them, I said, okay, but don't post it below this video. Find an old video of mine and just kind of post your results offhand, and then I'll record them, and then eventually I'll get rid of the post. And and Red Pill turned around and he was like, well, it doesn't look like anybody took up your challenge. Which, number one, he was under a video of somebody who was actually taking up the challenge, but it was deliberately set so that the people that I knew were going to get the right answers were not going to post them below the video. So somebody who would, so that a flat earther can grab hold of it, I wanted them to do the work themselves.
Yes, Sly, I gotta share something.
What's that?
Remember that Google Hangouts chat?
Okay. Hold on. Where are you sharing?
In Hangouts.
Can't you see it?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let's see. What you got? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how more obvious can it get why we didn't do this?
Right. No, but the challenge was in itself bait. What do you call it? Some people were going to find that to be interesting, and so therefore they what do you call it? I knew that there was going to be there was a whole bunch of people who were asking me, "Hey, man, can I give you results? Can I give you results?" And then that's when I came up with in the description, which you didn't read. What do you call it? That they should just post it over onto a different channel, and I got a lot of results, but Red Pill philosophy thought.
Well, here's a question.
Because he didn't see them, that nobody participated.
Well, here's the question: did Red Pill offer up a solution?
Nope.
Imagine that.
Actually, he ran when I asked him to do that, And then Gary was actually in the same one, and I said, "Where's your results?" And he ran too.
Go figure.
But I think Gary's actually blocked on my shit now, or at least muted. And but Red Pill's not. Hell, I even told Red Pill that it was refreshing to hear his voice on what was it, Jose Gonzalez, when Rumpus was totally bombing at describing what my test was going to be about, my big water test, and
right.
So I had actually at least commented on that, and I even think that I said it live, that hey, it's nice to know that you were actually paying attention to the details. But apparently this time he wasn't, and holds himself to be cool because of it. But
how about this, Red Pill? You're the high IQ researcher, and you're not taking up this challenge. Go ahead, show us your high IQ. Have fun with that.
Go for it. It's gonna be so fucking embarrassing, isn't it?
And by the way, Geo, I want you to answer it as well.
Okay.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
Since you didn't read, I have to invite you. So
no, Slayer, you're not inviting him. You're forcing him at this point.
Oh yeah, well now it's a force, yeah. Challenge.
All right, I'll do it.
I mean, it's going to take you 5 minutes in GeoGebra.
More or less, yeah.
I mean, come on. I was actually today. I was hinting at the idea of, even though it's 100% possible, it turned out to be rather time consuming. I was going to do it in Minecraft.
Oh, good Lord.
Because I've been absolutely amazed, and this was an unexpected result, to be honest with you. I'm absolutely amazed at how many different methods people use to get the answer. I mean, because it isn't the mantra supposed to be, we're all indoctrinated with the same, methodology and told how to do things and stuff like that. Shit, I got I got one guy who reproduced the entire scene in 3D and
Man
did
after
it
your
awesome.
own heart.
Yeah, that's what I said. And did that. Got another guy, a couple of guys who just showed up with the numbers. One, I think, sort of flat earther, did it in Unreal Engine.
Wow.
What's like? I'm gonna do your challenge tomorrow live. Fuck it. Setting up the Hangout now.
Okay, that'd be cool. And but I mean, so the methodology, I mean, you could do it with a pen and a piece of paper and all this if you scale it out right. So there were so many people, and yes, Tommy, I'm still waiting for you to do it in SketchUp. And but there's just so many different methods, and that's the beauty of this. And so we'll see what happens out of that. The actual filmed measurements as part of the footage that I actually shot and showed to everybody, it continues on, obviously, and I showed the actual measurements. That will be in Quickie 6. So you guys will be waiting to see that, I'm sure. But yeah, outside of that, and I have been asked recently by, oddly enough, 3 flat earthers about me reperforming the water test. As I have stated 100 times now, yes, I will be reperforming the test. There is a modification to it that has been put into place, but I will be reperforming the test. We just got to wait for it to cool back off again, because we got a pretty hot summer going on right now. And
you haven't seen anything yet, Sly. It's gonna get much worse.
Well, I know. So not until the fall are we gonna give this another shot, because we all know the fucking the reasons with photography at the distance. So let's see here. Been trying to sketch
my announcement for the Hangout should be live now.
I was actually expecting you to say, "Okay, I'm done."
Can you see it? It's called Sly kind of forces me to answer his challenge. So here we go.
Oh man, do it at night. Oh no, yeah, that would actually be kind of cool. And I have recently found the possibility of doing LEDs, because I found out about these things called bobber LEDs that are used for people who go night fishing.
Yes.
And they're about the size of a cigarette butt. So I'm going to see what I can do about that. I don't know.
It's just one single LED directly driven out of a button cell, I think.
Yeah, and it's
no
teeny
voltage
tiny.
control or anything in there.
Yep, it's just teeny tiny. So, but like I said, no promises on that. Right now, all I'm worried about is getting the damn water levels first. So, yes, red pill. I was defeated by gravity. Go figure. So, because if water was seeking its own level, it would have actually gone up because water level at that location was higher. Anyway, so that's all I got for you guys tonight. Sean, Gio, really appreciate you stopping by. And everybody else, I don't know how many people are watching right now, but I really appreciate you guys stopping by. And make sure you just give a hearty hi, how you doing to anybody from FECore when they come your way, and let them know that they're on their way to screwing up another test. Okay. Oh, 153.206. Okay. Well, I guess they're censoring me in 2 countries. So, so anyway, ladies and gents, I wish you guys all a great rest of your night.
Same to you guys. Bye.
Later.